Awesome. Okay. Good evening and welcome to the joint meeting of the City Council of the City of Moreno Valley Community Services District, City Successor Agency for the Community Redevelopment Agency of the City of Moreno Valley Housing Authority, Moreno Valley Public Financing Authority, and the Board of Library Trustees. The City Council does receive a separate stipend for CSD meetings. I now call this regular City Council meeting to order on February 16th, 2021 at 6:02 p.m. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Councilmember Marquez.
Here.
Councilmember Cabrera.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca.
Here.
Mayor Gutierrez.
Here. And then Pat, I think there's an echo again coming from you, so it might be your cell phone. Or if you have an extra iPad around. Okay. Staff introductions, please.
Jaques Nares, City Clerk.
It's echoing again.
David Quintanilla, Interim City Attorney.
Mike Lee, City Manager.
Marshall Ironman, Assistant City Manager, Chief Financial Officer.
Michael Wolf, Assistant City Manager, Director of Public Works, City Engineer.
John Gamancha, Community Development Director.
Patty Solano, Parks and Community Services Director.
John Salisbury, Chief of Police.
Abdul Ahmed, Fire Chief.
Great. Okay, I think we got everybody there. All right, well, thank you so much, staff, for those warm introductions. We are now going to go to a special presentation, though. Actually, it's a commendation and presentation for a person that has been really great to our city. It's actually a bittersweet moment, actually, day for us, as we do have to say farewell to one of our own, Marshall Ironman, who joined our team in 2008. And Marshall is our Assistant City Manager, CFO/Treasurer. So he actually holds literally 3 positions here in the city. And I've actually had the opportunity, Marshall, to see you grow in your profession in the last 8 years. I recall, I believe you were a program manager back in 2013 around there. And you know, you've just developed in many different ways, many different aspects in your role. And you really do define the definition of a leader. You know, yeah, you've really grown to be a leader. And I think that's why we have really respected, the idea of you moving up to different positions. And I do believe that you, Marshall, are really a testament to many employees, that if you work hard and you put all your due diligence into detail, you know, you can succeed and you can move up the ladders. Marshall started as a special district program manager, like I mentioned, and then quickly he became the budget officer, and then the financial resources division manager. And I do recall, just your great work, and we had to make sure that you would stay with us. So we made sure of that. And then quickly he became the chief financial officer and city treasurer. The city treasurer position, just so you know, is a council appointed position, and in the city we decided that you as a CFO, because of your experience and just how you're able to really work with the council, that you should be in that role. He has helped with the designation and achieving the designation that our city has achieved as the 3rd most fiscally responsible city in the nation, along with many other distinguished awards. He has assisted with many new programs for the community, such as the Homeless to Work, the MyMoval website for nonprofits, and working with the nonprofits as well. And that does take a special skill set, and also volunteer programs as well. He's also helped with the Beautify Mobile and the newest program, Click, for digital inclusiveness. His leadership within our organization, like I mentioned, is really an example to all of our employees of all of his hard work. He's also been involved in the community, and that's also another example that it shows to our employees, including the Moreno Valley Noon Rotary, He's also been a board member for the March Air Museum and an honorary commander for the March Air Reserve Base. Again, Marshall has proven to be a true asset in our organization, and he will continue to be in his future position. Therefore, it is with great pride, but also with sadness, to be honest, because when I first heard about it, and I'm sure the other council members felt the same way, we were a little sad about it because you worked so hard and you're just such a great worker that, but I know you're moving on to bigger and better things. So again, we congratulate you and we thank you for all your years of service. We also wish you the best of luck in your new chapter, and you will definitely be missed. This is why tonight, we are recognizing you, and we have a proclamation. I don't know if you have it with you. If you could just, okay, great, thank you. Okay, I wish this wasn't like Zoom, so it'd be a lot nicer that way, but the pandemic, so. Okay, so whereas Marshall Ironman began his career with the city of Moreno Valley in 2008 as a special programs manager, and then moved up to being the chief financial officer and assistant city manager overseeing administrative services. And whereas in his capacity as the CFO, Marshall Ironman helped the city of Moreno Valley to attain many prestigious awards, including Moreno Valley's designation as the third most fiscally solvent city in the nation, the Government Finance Officers Association Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting, and he also helped us receive the Distinguished Budget Award and multiple transparency awards. Whereas Marshall Ironman further served the residents of Moreno Valley faithfully through his involvement of the implementation of various community enhancement programs, like I mentioned earlier, the Homeless to Work, CLIck, and several other ones. Whereas Marshall Ironman demonstrated an unparalleled devotion to community service in his role as past president of several nonprofit organizations in our community. And whereas in his 13 years of service to Moreno Valley, Marshall Ironman has done exemplary work and continued to strive for excellence, guiding the city past economic downturns, and we have had economic downturns and obviously pandemics as well, allowing the city to have 8 years of consecutive balanced budgets. That is right there a winner, while continuing to provide the community with new libraries, parks, and other quality of life services. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and city council of the city of Moreno Valley, on behalf of all of the residents and staff, recognize the service and dedication of Marshall Ironman to the residents of Moreno Valley. And with the utmost respect and gratitude, we wish you great luck and success in future endeavors. Marshall, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, Mayor. First of all, thank you very much, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council members. Everything in my career is only accomplished with the support of the City Council and the Mayor, allowing me these opportunities to do that. And with the other side, I just want to point out that nothing in the city is accomplished by an individual. Our CM has built a base of collaboration, and everything that I've been able to accomplish has been based on my peers, employees, everyone within City Hall, making sure that we can get so many of these new programs, new libraries, new services to the public, while still having a balanced budget. And that's been the goal for these last 13 years. So with that, I just want to thank everyone for everything that they've done for me over these last time period, and look forward to the next step in my career. Thank you very much.
And we hope that you stay in touch with us on LinkedIn, and we stay in touch that way. And I did want to open it up to see if there's any, actually, Mike, I don't see Mike, but Mike, if you want to, I don't want to put you, well, I kind of already did, so.
Sure, absolutely, Mayor. I was going to wait for the city manager's comment, but I'll take this opportunity.
Yeah.
First, Marshall, he has been, solid, fantastic. And as you mentioned earlier, a lot of the accomplishments, actually a team effort, but Marshall has been an integral part of a lot of our successes. Yeah, we're definitely going to miss him. As you know, Marshall, he came from the private sector, and I was talking to some of the council members before that. He could have been a CFO for a lot of Fortune 1000 companies, but he actually dedicated a career to public service. And it's a lot of the employees here is that we love public service. We see the beauty of public service, and Marshall is just the epitome of a great public servant. So I do want to congratulate Marshall. He is going to be dearly missed. I wish him the best of luck in Florida. And his wife told him that if he moves to Florida, his hair is going to grow because of the humidity. I told him that is not the case, so he's going to have to learn the hard way. So, but with that, Marshall, thank you so much. Bottom of my heart, rest of the E-team and the rest of the employees here, we're very, very happy for you. So thank you very much, Marshall.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Also, I see Councilmember Victoria Baca, you have your hand up.
I sure do. I don't want to reiterate everything that's been said already, Marshall, but when I heard you were leaving, I'm like, I can't believe it, because you just fit so perfectly here with our city, and you've done great things for Moreno Valley, and we're all, on behalf of District 1, we're all very proud of you. We're sad to see you go, but we wish you the best of luck in your next endeavor. And thank you for everything you've done for Moreno Valley.
Councilmember Cabrera.
Thank you. And Marshall, I think the proclamation summed up everything that you stand for and everything that you've accomplished and all that you are about. And I remember one time, it was a weekend actually, where I just happened to go up on a hike up to the M with a few of my friends, and I had no idea, but once I got to the top, who do you think I saw? Marshall Ironman with the rest of the Rotary cleaning up the M. And that is a leader right there. You are a true example. You're someone I look up to as a younger man. You've taught us a lot. You've helped us through these difficult times and made the necessary adjustments, with the current pandemic and the economic recession. And because of you and your team and the rest of the E-team, as you mentioned, it's a collaborative effort. This city has been able to move forward every single year, get better and get stronger and get to where we are today. And I mean, it is a sad moment to see you leave, but I hope that, that you always have a home here. If you ever want to come back to Moreno Valley, would love to see that. But, congratulations, and I just wish you all the best. I really do wish you all the best to you and your family and all of your loved ones.
Great. Would anyone else like to? Okay, Councilor Marquez.
Yeah, well, everybody's already said what I wanted to say, Marshall, but you're going to be greatly missed. You really are. From me to you, you've done it. I mean, you've done a fantastic job for the city. And it's been a pleasure working with you. And I just wish you and your family the best of luck for your next adventure in your career. And like Cabrera said, come on back if you decided you want to come back to sunny California and see what happens. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
I think it's a testament really that you have the support of the entire council here. We really cherish the moments that you've had with us and really in growing our community. All right, so again, congratulations, Marshall. And would anyone from the E-team like to maybe just say something, or maybe you've already said something already, like a personal goodbye. Well, personal good. Oh, I think the city attorney's coming on. Okay, there he is.
Never asked the city attorney if he wants to say something. Yeah, I've worked with a number of finance directors and a number of agencies, and one thing that stands out with Marshall is that he's very efficient, he's very diligent, he's very dedicated to the city, and he's also a very kind soul. And I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss coming in here and Marshall walking into the office and telling me, I got to get something, make it a priority, and he does it, and I want to do it for him, because he is such a nice, good person. And I wish you, your wife, and your family the best of luck in Florida. And I may come out there. If you're close to Disney World, I may come out.
Yeah.
I'll miss you, Marshall.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, well, again, thank you so much. Thank you, Marshall.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Before we hear public comments this evening. I ask and encourage everyone participating to keep their comments respectful towards each other, especially the individuals at the podium. Finally, I also ask that speakers bear in mind that they will have 3 minutes for public comments on matters on the agenda and also on matters not on the agenda. So this is the opportunity to speak. And we'll go ahead and actually, Madam Clerk, how many speakers do we have tonight?
We have 5 speakers.
Okay. So let's go
Robert
ahead
Then,
and call the first 3.
Robert Then, Carlos Rivas, Tom Gerald, Mr. Then.
Yes, good evening. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can.
Oh, I'm sorry. Marshall, you're leaving us. You gotta be kidding me. For Florida? Come on, buddy. Marshall, you're always a great guy. I've always enjoyed talking to you. You're straight up. I always knew you were good, but Marshall, that proclamation, holy smokes. It's gonna take the city hire about 6 people to replace you. Well, I just want to wish you good luck and take care and have a safe trip. Okay, on to other business. Mayor Gutierrez, you on more than one occasion have reminded us that we are the 2nd largest city in Riverside County. I wish that we would act more like the 2nd largest city in Riverside County. Last week, this council approved the change of land use for a plot of land at the corner of Peacock and Ironwood, changed from commercial to business park, which allowed the developer to build a 200,000 plus square foot warehouse directly across the street from a long-time residential area. Now, I don't understand why we would do that. Certainly the developer put a lot of comments in his 40-minute speaking, 25 at the Planning Commission and 15 at the City Council, but they were all about the commercial area. I don't think he ever mentioned warehouses once. And why? Because you don't put a warehouse next to next to a residential area. You don't subject those people to the noise and air pollution associated with a warehouse. So it's time we put on our big boy pants and tell these developers that we're going to decide where we put our houses and where we develop our land, not them. When these developers are sitting in their corporate offices, they're not deciding to come to Moreno Valley just to do us a favor. No, they're coming here because they're going to make money, because we have something they want. We have land and we have the location. I have more to say, but I wanted to end this tonight with a congratulations. I want to congratulate the mayor, the city council, and the city staff for a wonderful memorial service for Councilman Dr. Carla Thornton. It was a moving ceremony and certainly displayed how much Carla will be missed. I hope and I'm sure it brought some comfort, however.
Carlos Rivas, followed by Tom Gerald and Beatriz Aguilar. Carlos?
Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening. So I just wanted to touch base really quick on a certain line item on the agenda. I believe it's A5. I've been kind of searching the website and keeping an eye on any type of openings on the Planning Commission. And based on your website, the next term, you have 4 expiring on March 31st. But it was kind of a surprise to see that there is a member that will potentially be confirmed up until 2025. So I don't know, I don't know what the procedure is. I was kind of waiting for an official notice of opening from the city to go ahead and put my application, or, kind of talk with my community of who can, also give back to the community, especially now that we're working remotely. We kind of have more resources to do our research and, give back, depending on what kind of skill set we have. So I don't know, maybe there should be more information on the website, kind of give us an opportunity to apply, get some fresh thoughts in there. I know that it makes a big deal, the type of feedback that you guys get from the commission when it comes to approving, whether it be a warehouse or a change in development, etc. So just wanted to share that. And something that's not on the agenda is related to parking enforcement. Maybe post-pandemic and things are back to normal, maybe we can get new technology to free up parking staff. Just because I live in a community where parking is not allowed from a certain time. And as of today, I think your enforcement staff go home by 3 p.m. So it cuts 4 hours short from an enforcement period. I don't want to kind of add on more work to the current sheriff's department with something so petty about a car parked outside without a permit. So I don't know, something you guys can keep in mind. It could be next year, it could be 2 years from now. It doesn't matter, but there are some apartments that are being built in my community, and before the issue gets overwhelming, if you guys could figure out some ways to kind of enforce the current parking situation. Thank you.
Thank you. And then just to respond really quick to so we have rolling applications here for commissions and boards. So that means anytime you can submit an application, and it's on the website. I'm going to have city staff reach out to you. I think we might have your email already. Madam Clerk, we have his email?
We have his phone number.
Okay, his phone number. Okay, so we can have someone just call him and we'll provide you that information. Yeah, we tried it before where we would only announce it at certain points, and then it didn't work that way. So for the last, I think, 5 years, it's just constantly rolling applications. That means you can put them in at any time, and there's a list of vacancies, and then the applications there, and then you will also be able to see another list that tells you who is on each of the commissions and then when their terms expire as well. Okay, next speaker.
Next speaker is Tom Gerald, followed by Beatriz Aguilar and Natalie Hartz. So Tom, you need to do *6 in order to speak, please. Tom? *6. I don't think Tom can unmute himself.
All right.
I'm going to go to Beatriz.
Okay.
Beatriz?
Beatrice? Is she coming by phone or?
No, we don't. Her name just came up, so I'm thinking it's a computer, or if you're by phone, you need to do *6 in order to unmute yourself. Beatriz?
Oh, there she is.
I think, hello?
Yes,
I think
we hear you.
I think it was.
Oh, you muted. I think you muted yourself.
Okay. I think it just put me on the list because I registered for today's meeting, but it was just to listen into what's going on.
Okay. Okay, you can. Okay, so she doesn't have any comments, or?
No comments. No comments.
Oh, okay. 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 Thank you. All right. Okay, City Clerk. Next 3 speakers, please.
The last person is Natalie Hartz. *6 to speak, please. Natalie?
And maybe it could be the same thing. Maybe she doesn't want to speak.
Those are all the speakers, Mayor.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, let's go back here. Okay. Would any council members like to make their closing comments at this time? No? Okay. All right, we are now going to move to our joint consent calendar sections A through E on the agenda. All items considered on the consent calendar sections A, B, C, D, and E are considered to be routine and non-controversial and may be enacted in one motion. And then each motion to adopt the consent calendar is deemed to be a separate motion by each agency and shall be so recorded by the city clerk. Items withdrawn for report or discussion will be heard actually during this time. I do want to make a clarification on one of the items for Alvin Deschenay, who is a current planning commissioner. It does say the term expires 2025. It should actually be June 30th, 2022. So that was just a clerical error. And so just wanted to make that a clarification and you know, we'll fix that. But it should be June 30th, 2022. Okay, so at this time, let me see. If you could just raise your hand if you'd like to speak. Okay, Councilor Marquez.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I like to pull A8 for a question.
Okay.
And also A16 for a separate vote.
And A16. Okay. All right. And okay, well, let's start with A8 as for the question.
Okay, thank you, Mayor.
And then we'll go to Councilor Cabrera.
Okay, thank you. On A8, it's this allotment that we got for the emergency rental assistance from the federal government. My question is this: this money comes directly to the city, not through the county or no other city or county agency. With this amount of money coming to the city, and I think I'll be addressing Marshall on this, yes. We have a consultant firm that we're going to assign to distribute that amount of money. My question is this: United Ways of Inland Valleys, they're getting a bulk of that, almost $6 million. And then the Salvation Army is only getting 200,000. My question is, why do we only have them two when that's a large amount of money, Marshall? And why does United Way have the most?
Perfect. Well, council member, walking through a couple things. So the component that we're getting from the federal government is approximately $6.3 million. The money's restricted for basically evictions and meeting those needs. With the Salvation Army, the council had previously allocated some funds through ESG. So they do have some waiting list of individuals that they weren't able to fund at that time. So we've provided them a small amount so that they can meet the needs. And when you look at the United Way, they've been partnering with the County of Riverside along with us to build a much larger platform to funnel all of the needs through. We've been marketing that through the city's website with the Mobile Rental Rescue. So most of the population has been funneled through there, so they have a much more extensive waiting list for those funds, and they're able to utilize their platform, what we've developed already, to really get the mass amount of those funds out there. Whereas, you know, the Salvation Army has a different role in the community, focusing a lot more on the homeless individuals than the rental assistance programs.
Okay, and the administration expenditures are $195,000. That's all going to go to United Way?
No, and some of the administration, it works through the city, and then we have consultants. When we get any funds from the federal government, it's very particular that we cross the T's, dot the I's, track every dollar, make sure everything that's spent meets the full compliance. If it's not fully compliant, it does become a liability for the city. So we utilize outside auditors and consultants along with our staff to make sure these are fully vetted and done through the process.
Okay, now my last question is, what's the time frame for the use of this money?
Well, the nice thing is we've actually received the funds from the federal government. So right now we have that available. We're doing the final actions. There is a component here that the state has an allocation as well. We're waiting for some final parameters. I do not have the kickoff date, but it will be a very short timeline to get this going. And as soon as it's available for the public, we'll be doing presumably a large media outreach to make sure everyone's aware of the program.
Okay, so you'll be giving the websites and all that stuff that the
Yes.
public can get there. Okay, that's great. I appreciate that, Marshall. A16, Mayor, did you want to wait to
Oh, yeah.
separate vote?
Yeah, actually, I was just going to ask you, would you be comfortable with, I mean, if we just voted and then just put, record your vote, it just as a no, so that way we don't have to do a full report?
Yeah, if I could just report it as a no.
Yes. Yeah, you can.
And not totally for the whole consent calendar,
Yeah, just only for the
A16.
A16. Yeah,
Will
only
be a
for
no.
A16. Is that okay?
That's fine if it's legal. If Steve says it's okay, then it's fine with me.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll just be on the A16. That way we don't have to hear the whole report. So thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, Marcus.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Cabrera.
Thank you. And just following up on I believe it's A8 for the rental assistance. So I know we had a couple of different options, and we're going with the more flexible option to be able to use these funds to basically the maximum capacity that we can. It's a substantial amount of funds, which is very good. So many people that need this money right now for their, back due rent, and also for landlords who have not been able to pay their mortgages. So I know that we send this information out to our email list, to our businesses and all of our contacts, the clergy members as well. But I want to make sure that we do everything we can. I believe we already send this information out in Spanish as well. So I just want to make sure that we do send this out in Spanish, and also make sure that we reach out to, the property management companies in Moreno Valley, the courts as well. Even though there are eviction moratoriums, I'm sure there have been landlords who have, attempted to submit eviction documentation. So I just want to make sure that we get this information out, because unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't get out to everyone, and we need to make sure that, we do everything we can. So I just more of a comment. I know that our staff does a good job of getting the information out there, and hopefully, us as a council, we can also share it to our social media pages and all of that to make sure that we got our economy running up and back up and running even faster. So that's A8. I also have question and comment for A5 and a question and comment for A11.
Okay, no, and I think we could definitely do what you were saying about the A8. I think that's really important. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. So for A5, just kind of a clarification. Carlos Rivas, I believe is his name, kind of got me curious about this. So, and thank you, Mayor, for the clarification there on the term for Alvin Dejanay. So it's 2022, not 2025. But just a question, this might be for Steve or for Pat, but for appointments, in particular for the Planning Commission, are there any term limits or limit to the duration of terms for planning commissioners or for any other commissions and boards?
Steve, basically the answer is no, but Steve, do you want to? Steve?
Can you hear me?
Yes, okay, there you are.
Councilmember Cabrera, I can look that up right now. Okay. I can check that out right now.
Okay, yeah, I'm just curious to know, like, is it just up to the council to appoint people for as long as they want, or is there a set limit on what we can appoint them for? I'm just curious.
You can appoint them up to the term, but it can be appointed at a lesser amount. So if you didn't want to appoint to 2025, you can appoint for a year, for 6 months, and as well, you can also remove a person from any of your boards and commissions.
Okay, and so basically the duration of the terms is 4 years maximum?
Yes, sir. So you can appoint up to the maximum of the term.
But not all terms are 4 years. There's some that are 2 years. Like I think the public safety, I think we set that one up as 2 years, 2-year term. So it really just depends on the resolution and how we, when we created the commission or the committee, how many, you know, the duration of that term. I've never heard of, you know, term limits for those, but we can have Steve definitely research that.
Okay, yeah, I think that clarifies things pretty well. Okay, so we'll leave that at that. Thank you so much. And the last one, A11, again, just more of a comment. I want to make sure that the public is aware that A11, it's actually a grant. Thank you, Michael Wolf and Public Works, for giving some background information and for also getting the grant awarded to the city. So basically, from my understanding, this funding, it's about $303,000 that's going to be spent over on LaSalle, right next to Rancho Verde High School, because that section of the road, at least during the time I've been on the council, there's been multiple accidents, unfortunately, you know, car accidents, whether that's people driving too fast or whatever the reason is, distracted drivers, but that curve coming in from the city of Paris, there's been a lot of accidents there. So this funding is going to go toward applying basically an application onto the road, onto the asphalt, to help vehicles basically have more control, have more friction between the tires and the road, with the ultimate goal of making it safer and having less accidents. So I just wanted to make sure that we put a spotlight on that as well. Again, I want to thank Public Works for going after that grant and getting that. I really hope that this helps. And also, just kind of a side note, I spoke with some folks from Paris, and there's a vacant lot just southwest of Rancho Verde High School that is Paris jurisdiction. But just a couple of weeks ago, they approved the housing tract for about 300 homes. So hopefully that helps to kind of close in the street a little bit, and people are less inclined to speed and be reckless. So that's all I have on that item. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. We have a hand by Mayor Pro Tem Baca. You have a.
I'm muted now. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the consent calendars, items A through E.
Okay, and then just with the, just to amend that one with an exception on A16, that would be a no vote from Councilmember Marquez, and then with the amendment to the term for Alvin Duchesne.
Second.
Okay, the motion is second. Okay, Madam Clerk.
Councilmember Marquez,
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca,
Yes.
Mayor Gutierrez.
Yes.
Motion passes 4 ayes.
Okay,
Mr.
great.
Mayor,
Yes.
I confirm there are no term limits for your planning commission.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. Okay. F1 is public hearing. So public hearing and resolution adjusting development impact fees for residential and commercial and industrial development. We'll have a report from Public Works.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council. As the mayor indicated, this is a public hearing and resolution recommending adjusting the development impact fees. And with your permission, Mayor, I'll share my screen.
Okay. Great. Great.
So most of the details in the staff report, but I did want to just highlight a few things. So we do have a development impact study, our Nexus study. It's a 2012 Nexus study, so going on almost 9 years old now. Since that time, there's been a lot of changes in the cost of constructing public improvements that are supposed to help mitigate the impacts of development. So our city code has contemplated this. So in our city code, there's an allowance for adjustments. Specifically, it calls out the engineering news records building cost index, or BCI. That's what's identified in our building code. So since our study in 2012, the BCI has been just under 24%. So again, the idea here is we want to take advantage of that adjustment so that we're not falling behind in terms of the cost of those public improvements. So what we're recommending tonight is to conduct a public hearing and absent any compelling reason otherwise, approve the resolution, which would apply the building cost index to all of the development impact fee categories. Also, we're asking for council's recommendation tonight is to update our 2012 study. Again, there's been a lot of changes since 2012, so we want to take a look at that. So that concludes my report and available for any questions.
Okay, thank you, Michael Wolf, for that concise report. Any council questions of staff? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open the hearing. Madam Clerk, any public testimony?
None.
Okay, I'm going to close the hearing. Okay, council deliberation if desired. Okay, I'll go ahead and, oh, I think this area cut off here. If there's a motion to adopt recommendations numbers 2 and 3. Okay, Councilmember Cabrera, you raise your hand. Okay, motion made by Councilmember Cabrera, second by Mayor Pro Tem Baca. Okay, Cheddar hand second. Okay, and okay, Madam Clerk, go ahead and vote, please.
Councilmember Marquez,
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca,
Yes.
Mayor Gutierrez.
Yes.
Motion passes 4 ayes.
Okay, great. Now we're on F2, which is the Municipal Code Amendment modifying Chapter 3.48, Western Riverside County Multiple Species Habitat Conservation Fee Program. We'll have a report from the Community Development Department.
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and council members. The proposed ordinance and resolution before the City Council tonight is to update the Municipal Species Habitat Conservation Plan, MSHCP fee program, which includes modifications to Chapter 3.48 of the Municipal Code and the adoption of the MSHCP pass-through fees. To give you a little bit of background on this, on January 27th of 2004, the city adopted ordinance number 654, which imposed the MSHCP fee, known as the Local Development Mitigation Fee, LDMF, throughout the city. In December of 2020, the RCA approved a nexus study updating the local development mitigation fees, which haven't been changed since the 2004. The implementation of the LDMF rate changes will occur in 2 steps. First change occurring in July 1st of 2021, and the second occurring in first one is July 1st, 2021, and the second one in January 2022. The proposed adjustment will ensure that the fees are consistent with the proposed ordinance. This actually would ensure that this is will not affect the city physical impact at any time. That includes staff's report. I'm available for questions. In attendance also, we do have the RCA representatives, Jennifer Fuller, excuse me, and interim executive director, Aaron Hank.
Okay, thank you. Any council questions of staff on this item? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and open the hearing. Any public testimony, Madam Clerk?
None.
Okay, I'm going to close the hearing. Council deliberation, I don't see, oh, Mayor Pro Tem Baca, you had your hand up for deliberation? Okay, all right, I'll entertain a motion by council to approve staff's recommendations numbers 1 through 3.
I move.
Okay, motion made by Councilor Marquez. A second? Okay, second by Mayor Pro Tem Baca.
That's my commissioner.
Yeah, no, it's just funny. I laugh because everybody's trying to do it at the same time. It's like, whoa. Okay, all right. So we have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Councilmember Marquez,
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca,
Yes.
Mayor Gutierrez.
Yes.
Motion passes 4 ayes.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Randy. Okay, so now we're going to go to item G1, which is fiscal year 2021 mid-year budget review and approval of the fiscal year 2020/2021 mid-year budget amendments. And we'll have a report of the Financial and Management Services Department. Marshall?
Perfect. Yes. Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council members. Based on Council's directives to maintain a balanced budget, we have actively been coming back on a quarterly basis to review the budget. look at recommendations and status and any other adjustments that need to occur at those times. With this item on the mid-year, not a lot of substantial changes as we're looking at the current pandemic. We're really kind of on a wait and see until we get to the third quarter, where we'll bring back more adjustments if needed based on where this kind of resolves as we move forward. But some of the key things for the city council and public at this time is when we look at our budget and where we stand today with the current reduced budget as a result of the pandemic, we're following right in line with where we should be. Though it's a mid-year, the revenues typically don't track on that straight line basis. We normally assume that we receive about 30% of our revenues to date. At this point in time, based on that reduced budget, we have received 30%. With regards to expenditures, we typically track about 50% that we'd receive to date in the general fund, or that we would expend. At this point, we're at 43%. So some of those items may trail a little bit later depending on projects, but those numbers are both in line with expectations and a good foundation for the city as we move forward at this time. But we do continually remain cautiously optimistic as we still don't have the full impacts of the pandemic and what we're seeing as the results to our small businesses within the jurisdiction. With regards to some of the proposed amendments, as I mentioned, at this point, we really don't have a lot of items on the general fund. There are a couple items for non-general fund items. The key thing is with the gas tax, we do have updates from the state. Those gas tax revenues have been adjusted up approximately $1 million, and those funds will go towards those dedicated purposes. And then with the refunding of the TRIP bonds, we achieved some savings there, but there's an adjustment to reconcile those transactions with the refunding. So it's a cleanup item on that. The third thing, though, that I did want to mention is as we look at our staff and retention and other items, we do have some position, basically retitles or reclassifications. Most of these are simply just a retitle. So when we look at the Parks Department, the positions that we have here, what we discovered is many jurisdictions around us have employees with different titles, and so it's maintaining an industry standard with those titles. We're not modifying salaries or job classifications. We're just changing the titles that'll make us consistent with their peers and counterparts, and it'll actually help retain some of our employees because this gives them a higher level title in the industry with no cost to the city. Additionally, as we look at public works, the key thing here is currently we have division managers. What we're trying to create is kind of a ladder, if you will, that creates positions below division managers and gives some training and succession for those individuals to proceed through different engineering levels. So rather than just being a division manager after a senior engineer, you can move into a principal engineer position between those two levels. So it will provide for, again, retention and growth and not really have a cost to the city. So with the adjustments we have here, we're actually looking at a net saving of one position at approximately $55,000. And that concludes my report.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Marshall. Any council questions of staff on this item? All right, seeing none. Any council deliberation? Okay, seeing none. Okay, I'll entertain a motion by council to approve staff's recommendations numbers 2 through 4. Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Baca. Second by Councilmember Marquez. All right, Madam Clerk, go ahead and we'll take this item 2 through 4.
Councilmember Marquez,
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca,
Yes.
Mayor Gutierrez.
Yes.
Motion passes 4 ayes.
We also have to do a separate motion here for the Community Services District. So I'll entertain a motion by the Community Services District to approve staff recommendation number 1. Motion made by Mayor Pro Tem Baca. Second by Councilmember Marquez. So it was Baca and Marquez. Okay, Madam Clerk, please vote.
Councilmember Marquez,
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca,
Yes.
Mayor Gutierrez.
Yes.
Motion passes 4 ayes.
Great. I also wanted to just before we move on, I believe it was item 810. We did get to appoint our city treasurer tonight, and that is our new city treasurer, and that's Brian Mohan. So, congratulations, Brian. This is one of the positions that City Council appoints, and like Marshall. We trust that the CFO is going to do a great job. And so we just want to congratulate you as well. So congratulations.
We should let him have some words to say.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Brian, if you'd like to say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. It's an honor to be the city treasurer and follow in Marshall's footsteps. I've worked closely with Marshall over the last several years and followed his progression as well. So I look forward to working with all of you through the CM's office and being able to provide quality of life services to our residents. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much, Brian. Also, I forgot to mention, if there's any commissioners, Madam Clerk, do you know of any commissioners that wanted to be sworn in tonight that might be participating?
None.
None? Okay. All right. So they'll probably want to just be sworn in at their committee meeting then.
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
Okay, great. Okay, so we'll go straight to reports. We'll have a short report from the March Joint Powers Commission Regional. We have Mayor Pro Tem Baca. You're muted. You're muted.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Mayor. Tonight, providing an update from the March Joint Powers Commission meeting held on February the 10th. The commission approved a minor update to the Conflict of Interest Code, and we also approved the second reading of the entitlement applications for a commercial project and an industrial project in the Meridian South Campus. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Very brief, right? All right, awesome. Okay, so that brings us to reports and comments from council members who did not speak earlier. You will have 5 minutes for your closing comments, but before I get to that, I do want to mention that I have instructed the city clerk due to, as we know, there is a vacancy in District 2, and we have per state law until March 22nd to fill the vacancy on the council, or else a special election will have to be held on November 2nd of this year to fill the seat. In light of the urgency of the situation, I did meet with the city manager, city clerk, and city attorney, and I asked and instructed the city clerk to prepare a council appointment application form. And if the city manager and city attorney deem it sufficient, to go ahead and post this on the city's website, very big, where people can see it, on the mayor and city council webpage the day after this meeting. The city clerk will actually set it up so that the completed application, so people would submit their applications to the city clerk. Once the city clerk determines that the applicant meets the listed qualifications, she will forward the completed application to each council member. So she said, she had told me that it could take her about 2 hours, because if that, she just has to call the registrar of voters to kind of double verify that they live in the right area. And then, although not required, each council member at their discretion, which is at your discretion, will then have the opportunity to interview any or all of the applicants, so we can decide who you may want to nominate to fill the vacancy at our next council meeting on March 2nd. Council members can contact the city clerk to schedule and set up your individual interviews and also conduct reference checks. So she could either do that with you or you could do that. And then, since there will not be any interviews conducted at the March 2nd council meeting, your individual interviews will need to be completed if you desire to interview before March 2nd. So that's kind of the process I kind of laid out for us to take nominations on March 2nd. It's not a requirement, to do applications, but I kind of figured it'd be a good idea to do applications and then have the city clerk check it, and then if you want to, you can, interview as many candidates as you want. Okay. Anyone have any questions on that one? No, it's just a tragedy that happened, but yeah, so very tragic. Okay, so we'll have closing comments from Council Member Marquez for this evening.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor.
Yeah.
I want to shout out to our staff, Mike Lee and his staff, the E-team, and all employees of the city of Moreno Valley. I've been driving around the city, especially in District 3, and it looks a lot cleaner. The dumping on the east end of town, I think once we finish putting up those signs, hopefully that'll deter somebody from dumping out there. But again, if you're caught dumping, regardless if it's a dump truck or out of your pickup truck, that fine can be at least $1,000. So we just hope that we don't catch anyone out there. Take it to the dump, very minimal charges. I think it's like $15 for a truckload. Take it to the proper place and dump your trash. If you're a waste management customer, they'll pick up bulk units. Just give them a call the week of your pickup and tell them that you have some large items out there, and they'll come by and pick them up. So it's a lot better to see mattresses on the side of the road. There's no reason to do that. Secondly, I want to say to Brian, congratulations. Don't take your job too seriously, because look at what happened to Marshall. He lost his hair. So if you don't want to lose your hair, Brian, don't take your job too seriously. But congratulations, and I look forward to working with you, and we'll have lunch later on.
Great. Thank you, council member.
You're welcome. And last, but I want to say one thing, and I've been told several times by a couple of residents outside of my district that they'll call and they'll say, I know you're not my council member, but I need this done. What I ask the residents to do is contact your local representative. I'm not saying that I'm not going to do it. I'm just saying give them the first opportunity if you have any complaints or issues. And we'll work together. All four of us will work together to solve the problems. But call your local representatives, and then we'll go from there. So that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have Councilor Cabrera.
Thank you. Good evening. Buenas tardes to everyone. It's good to be here again at another council meeting. First of all, just congratulations to Brian as well on moving up to this next chapter and this next phase in your career. We've worked a bit, on and off on various projects over the course of the past couple of years. So definitely look forward to working with you now in this new capacity.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Of course. And my next topic is something that actually took place last week over at Riverside University Health Systems. First, I want to just give a huge shout out to Mike Lee and his entire team and everyone involved in putting together 69 goodie bags for members of the Department of Defense. So for those who are not aware, the Department of Defense did send medical personnel, I think it was about 100, right around 100 folks in total, to RUHS here on Cactus in Moreno Valley to assist our doctors and our nurses with the pandemic. And just last week, was fortunate enough, with the assistance of our team over at City Hall, to deliver 69 goodie bags. I actually have a picture here. I'm just going to show it real quick. Out there to RUHS. Those are all the bags right there in black, full of all kinds of good stuff. There was a major, I can't remember his last name off the top of my head, but he was there to receive the goodie bags on behalf of his unit. And, I just thanked him on behalf of the district and our constituents, because the work, we could not get the numbers down to where we are today without all of their help and their sacrifice. And they're very grateful for that. So I just wanted to point that out briefly. And also, currently, the City of Moreno Valley, with the generous donation from Ross Distribution Center, is actually giving away hand sanitizer for free over at the Conference and Rec Center. Last week, I was also able to deliver some hand sanitizer out to Todek Legal Center, and I have a picture of that as well right here. That's Luz Gallegos, Todek, and her team out there. They work very closely with the farm workers all throughout the Inland Empire. You know, they're one of the main reasons why we have our produce in our grocery stores. And they give a lot of legal assistance, citizenship assistance to undocumented folks here in the Inland Empire, and was just fortunate enough to be able to deliver a truckload of hand sanitizer out to them. And they were very grateful. So they're putting together a distribution event actually this week. And they just wanted to thank the city of Moreno Valley as well for helping them help others as well. So moving on that note, actually, the Biden administration today, they announced a few more details in regards to immigration reform. I know that Congress is currently hammering out the details of immigration reform bill, and basically, you know, looking forward to seeing pathway to citizenship, also a lot of assistance for our dreamers here. I have family members who are dreamers as well. And, you know, this is long overdue. It's long overdue to have a pathway to citizenship for all of these folks that are every single day looking over their shoulder when they're driving in their cars, you know, living with constant fear and constant stress and worry about, you know, basically staying in this country and being separated from their families. So on that same note as well, I was very glad to see that as soon as the Biden administration came in, they created a group to reunify those children with their families who were separated at the border, which is just completely unacceptable and was devastating. But, you know, with the help of God, may they be able to reunify those families, those kids, those babies with their parents, with their moms and dads as soon as possible. So the last thing for tonight, I just want to say that, you know, we're keeping track of the numbers. Mike Lee, Chief Ahmad, everyone at City Hall, just thank you for your continued work in advocating for our city to get vaccines, to get, you know, testing sites, and just looking at the numbers, we're moving in the right direction as a state, right? The hospitalizations are down, the testing percentages are down, positivity rates are down. So we're moving in the right direction, but we are not out of the clear yet. We still need to keep wearing our masks, using hand sanitizer, staying indoor as much as possible. And recently, I think this was last week actually, it was announced that we're gonna soon move into the next tier, the next phase of vaccination. So we'll be sure to keep you posted on that, but everyone, please stay safe, and we'll see you at the next council meeting. Thank you.
We have Mayor Pro Tem Baca. Victoria?
Okay, when you have that screen, I can't unmute because I don't know why. But anyhow, I just want to say thank you to our city manager, our city clerk, our city attorney, Marshall Ironman. Thank you for all that you have done, and congratulations to Brian Lohan for taking the position. I have big shoes to fill, but you're going to do an excellent job. I know you are, because you had a good mentor, and you'll be fine.
Great. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
You're welcome. Okay, I also want to say, remind everybody that we're still in this pandemic, and it's very important for you to wear your mask, keep your distance, use hand sanitizer, and do as much as you can so that you're not infected, or if you're contagious, that you don't infect anybody else, because a lot of people have died. This is very serious, and you don't want that to happen to you or to any of your family members. So please take the warnings at heart, and remember that it could happen to anybody. And I'm sure that you've heard of people and you're surprised that this COVID-19 took them. I have, and it's very sad for everybody, especially the families. So please be careful, stay safe, and stay home. I also want to say thank you to the city for all the efforts, everything we've done to make this pandemic seem like it's something that we're all in this together. We're providing masks for you. We're providing hand sanitizer. Anything you need, please call the city clerk's office, the city manager's office, City Hall, because I know that there's help for you there. People that are having problems with their rent, call for assistance. There's just so much that's happening in the city, And I know that our leaders are doing everything they can so that they can have access to these funds so that we can help the great people of the great city of Moreno Valley. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. For my closing comments tonight, I just want to thank several individuals that really represent leadership. And that's obviously Marshall Ironman. Again, congratulations for your great work in our city. And like I mentioned, I've seen you move up in ranks. Even in the very beginning, I recall you were very shy when you were speaking in front of the council, but you became a great public speaker and also a great leader for our city. I also want to congratulate Brian. Brian, you are a rising star. I do see you as that, and I do know that you are going to do a great, great job in this position. And I'm rooting for you, and I know that you're going to do very, very well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I also want to congratulate several new commissioners that are here, from the Parks and Rec Trails Committee to the Planning Commission to the Library Commission. Many of you are taking these assignments in a voluntary basis without compensation, and you really do represent the motto of service above self. And I really do believe that. You know, you're really putting in that public servant approach to everything that you do, and I appreciate that. And the city appreciates you. In regards to the pandemic, we have noticed that the infection numbers have gone considerably down, which is actually a really good thing. We want to continue to get tested. So I don't know if you saw my mayor's message this week that went out to the residents of Moreno Valley, but it's very important that we continue to get tested. And the reason being is we want to get out of that purple tier. So we can get move away from that purple tier, then we can have more things that can open and more economic opportunities for our city. So the only way to do that is to have our infection rates go down, the positivity, and we can do that by getting tested. It's also important to note about the vaccines. I know that there is a shortage. Many of us are frustrated about this. I totally understand that. I've spoken to many residents. I've also spoken to many leaders in the county, also in the state as well, you know, that are working on this as well. And we just ask for your patience. We ask for your patience as we continue to roll this out and have more vaccines for the residents. So again, I just want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Like Mayor Pro Tem Baca mentioned, we work as a team. I think Councilor Marquez, you mentioned that as well. And I do appreciate you saying, you know, if you do have an issue, you know, please contact that council member of that district and then allow that council member to help you. But really, we definitely do work as a team here in the city of Moreno Valley. So again, I hope that all of you have a great, beautiful, blessed night. And thank you for attending tonight.